But how about MSDNC? They're worse than CNN. And they're owned by people that really are bad. I think they're very bad for our country. The owners of Comcast, rotten company, bad for our country, very bad. They try, you know, they have all these PR things to try and keep their image nice and clean. What they do on television is so disgusting. I think in the old days you had to have licenses for this stuff, right? They can say whatever they want to say. Let's see what happens over the next period of time. Bunch of dishonest people. Comcast, terrible company, terrible people running that company. And you know what? I had Celebrity Apprentice. I had The Apprentice on for 14 seasons. 14 seasons. And they used to come to my office and they would kiss my ass. Please sign. Please sign. Please. Please sign. You know, it's an interesting story. They came and we signed. You know who signed me? Jeff Zucker. It's one of the only things he's done good in broadcasting. But I signed, and NBC, as you know, is owned by Comcast. But I signed, and they figured the show would be a total failure, so they only signed me for one season. You know, I was going to have it. It was going to go on. And then the show started at 10, went to 8, went to 7, went to 5. Went to 4, went to 2. It went to 1. I had the #1 show in all of television. #1. It was a phenomenal, and the final episode, remember that? Do you remember that? Do you remember the final? We had, I don't know, it was like one of the biggest shows of the year. It was a tremendous success. But here I was. I signed with NBC. And they didn't even want to waste the ink on an option. Usually they have an option for, you know, just like, they didn't do it, you stupid people. So they paid me very little for the first season. I think $25,000 a show, which is, you know, considered like not good. That's okay, it was fun. I didn't know it was going to be successful, you know. Hey, just like this was successful. It's a reason. Because when I left, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I like Arnold said some very nice things the other day, so I'm not, but the show did not exactly succeed when I left. But I had it on, and they wanted me to sign for more, and I said, no, I'm going to run for president. But I'll never forget, I didn't know anything about this, right, the business, and I had an agent, wonderful guy from William Morris. And he said, sir, I don't want you to sign. No business show has ever done well on network television. Well, it's not business, it's entertainment, it's a lot of... Sir, I don't want you to sign. Sir, don't sign. I said, yeah, okay, but I have a problem. I shook the hand of somebody. I have to. And Mark Burnett was great, he was my guy. But we shook hands, so I have to. But I agreed, you know, I didn't know that no business type show had ever succeeded on a network television. So he said, I don't want you to sign, sir, break it. I said, I can't break it, can't break it. Anyway, so the show, I said, started at 10, went to 9, it was the #1 show all of a sudden. And the agent called me up. And he said, sir, I remember it was 6 in the morning, I was in bed. He said, sir, the show just went to #1. I'd love to see you because I think I'm entitled to more money. I said, you didn't want me to do the show. Well, not really. I mean, I was okay. He said, I'd really like more money. I said, Jim, I like you very much. Jim, you're fired. Get out. Anyway, I had 14 great seasons over about 11 years because it was so successful, they kept it. They would have run it. Remember when they did the 3 hours? The whole night was The Apprentice. I said, wait a minute. Gone with the Wind, to mention the movie the second time. Gone with the Wind is shorter. They had The Apprentice on for 3 hours. I said, even it's too long. You can't put it on for 3. You got to leave them a little bit like, I want to come back next week. But they had it on for 3 weeks. We did fantastically with it. Comcast did great. NBC did great. They wanted me to sign for another 3 years. I said, no, I'm going to run for president. And that was actually the time when I knew I was going to run, because, you know, they were paying a lot of money, and whether you're rich or not, it's still a lot of money. I don't care how rich you are, it's a lot. It's millions and millions of dollars. And I said, no, I'm going to run for president. And I did that. But from the day I ran, they went from being, wonderful. They were nice. They were nice. I guess if I didn't do well with the show, they wouldn't have been nice because they weren't nice to other people that failed. People that didn't have good ratings. That business is a very simple business. If you have good ratings, you can treat them like garbage. If you have bad ratings, you can say, sir, I really respect you so much. Get out of here. Get them out of my yard. They're very ruthless people. But Comcast is a rotten company. They forgot totally. And they are worse than CNN. I will tell you that right now. Comcast is worse than CNN. We should call it Comcast because that's their beautiful maiden name, Comcast.